Welcome back, students. Welcome to biology classes. Today we are going to see 11th science biology and we are going to see the next topics of chapter number 13, that is photosynthesis in higher plants, right? We have already covered the introductory part of this chapter. Today we are going to see about the where exactly the photosynthesis takes place, right? So chloroplasts are green plastids which function as the site of photosynthesis in the eukaryotic photoautotrophs. Okay, so nothing but the photosynthesis, it takes place inside the chloroplast, right? And this chloroplast, they are said to be the site of photosynthesis, right? And this occurs in the eukaryotic photoautotrophs. Eukaryotic, that means well developed, right? Photoautotrophs, that means photo, that is light. Autotrophs, that is in the presence of light, right? The organisms, they prepare their own food. Those are said to be photoautotrophs, right? Now, inside the leaves, the chloroplast is generally present in mesophyll cells along their walls, right? Now, when we are talking about the chloroplast, the site or the location of the chloroplast is where inside the leaves, right? So, inside the leaves, right, it is present inside the mesophyll cells, right? So, the mesophyll cells are the cells in which the chloroplast are present. And this in like these mesophyll cells are present along the walls of the leaves, right? Now, within the chloroplast, there is a membranous system consisting of grana, the stroma, lamella, and the fluid stroma, right? So here, when we are talking about the chloroplast, right? So this chloroplast is what? A membranous system. That is, it is having two membranes, right? There it is double membrane uh, organelle, right? And this is going to be consisting of grana. There you can see where I'm showing the cursor. This green colored thread like structures, right? They are grana. Then the stroma, that is the fluid which is present inside or the background of the whole chloroplast, that is stroma, right? Then lamella, stromal lamella, that is the, see, you can see over here, this grana has been connected with the another grana, and see, you can see inside the grana whatever fluid is present, that is stroma lamella, right? Next is the fluid stroma. So that is the back this fluid of the chloroplast, and that is stroma, right? So now we are going to see, this is the structure of chloroplast, right? Where you can see this is the outer membrane, right? The inner membrane, and then the stromal lamella. Then this green colored structure is known as grana. The fluid of the chloroplast is known as stroma. There is also presence of ribosomes, which are small dot-like structures present over here. Then this red colored disc-like structure, it is starch granule, right? And the what middle at this all dark droplet-like structures, they are lipid droplets, right? Now, the membrane system is responsible for synthesizing light energy for the synthesis of ATP and NADPH, right? Now, this membrane system, right, that is this chloroplast, and as it is made up of two membranes, the outer and inner, right? The membrane system is responsible for synthesizing the light energy, right? That is, it is going to produce the light energy for the production of the ATP energy as well as the NADPH, right? Now, what happens in stroma? The enzymatic reactions incorporate carbon dioxide in plants, leading to synthesis of sugar. Now, with the carbon dioxide, right, in the presence of carbon dioxide and the water, when this chloroplast is getting the sunlight, or we can say the light energy, then this the enzymatic reactions takes place, and this carbon dioxide in order gets converted, or it is going to produce what? Sugar, right? Now, the reaction in which the light energy is absorbed by grana to synthesis ATP and NADPH is called light reaction, right? So, whichever reaction which is taking place in the presence of light, right, that is said to be the light reaction, right? And this light reaction is what? the light energy is being absorbed by this grana, right? And this grana is responsible for producing the ATP energy and the NADPH. Now, as this reaction is taking place in the presence of light, this reaction is known as light reaction, right? Now, after the occurrence of the photosynthesis, right, the later part of photosynthesis in which CO2 is reduced to sugar, light is not necessary. So once the uh, first part is completed, right, and the next part, what happens is the CO2, that is the carbon dioxide, it is reduced and and the sugar is formed, right? So when the CO2 is being converted or the CO2 is reduced to form the sugar, in this reaction, there is no presence of light. And for this reason, this type of reaction is known as dark reaction, right? Next is, now which are the pigments involved in photosynthesis, right? So there are so many different types of pigments are involved in the photosynthesis, right? And with the help of the chromatographic separation of leaf pigments are as follows, right? So with the help of the chromatographic separation, we are going to see, or we have been seen that there are 4 different types of photosynthetic pigments which are found in the leaves, right? First is the chlorophyll A, second is chlorophyll B, third is xanthophylls, and fourth is carotenoids, right? The color of chlorophyll A is bright or blue green, right? So the color of chlorophyll A is bright or blue green, right? Second is chlorophyll B, that is yellow green in color. Xanthophyll is yellow in color, and carotenoids are yellow or yellow orange in color, right? So with the help of the chromatographic separation, right, the pigments of photosynthesis which are present inside the leaf are found, right? Now this graph shows that the, like, how much absorption can be carried out by the light, like which different types of light. For example, chlorophyll B is there, then green colored, that is chlorophyll B, yellow green, right, that is having the higher intensity to absorb more amount of light, right? Same way with the carotenoids, that is the yellow colored one. And the third, that is the cyan color, and that is showing the chlorophyll A, right? That is the bright or blue green in color, right? Second, this graph shows that what is the rate of photosynthesis, right, which is measured by the oxygen release. So the amount of oxygen which is released out, you can calculate that how much rate of photosynthesis is taking place. Because if one molecule of CO2 is being uptaken, then same way once oxygen is released out, right? So the amount, or the, if we measure the oxygen release which is taking place, then we can understand, or we can calculate that how much rate of photosynthesis is taking place. Same way, this third figure shows, the third graph shows, right, this is the light absorbed here, and this is the wavelength of the light, right? Now the black colored line shows the rate of photosynthesis, and the blue colored line shows the absorption, right? So the photosynthesis is shown as well as the absorption is shown, that how much light is being absorbed in order to get the proper amount of photosynthesis, right? So maximum absorption by the chlorophyll A occurs in blue and red regions having higher rate of photosynthesis. So chlorophyll A is the chief pigment, right? Now you can see over here is that as the maximum absorption has been taking place, right? See, you can see the absorption. So this blue colored line is what? The chlorophyll A. So as the maximum absorption is been taking place by the chlorophyll A, for this reason, this chlorophyll A is said to be the chief pigment, right? Now, other thylakoid pigments like chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, and carotenoids, they are said to be the accessory pigments, right? So, along with this chlorophyll A, there is also presence of 3 different pigments also, that is chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, and carotenoids. So, as chlorophyll A is said to be the chief pigment, this chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, and carotenoids, these 3 of them are said to be the accessory pigments, right? And this accessory pigments functions the functions for the absorption of the light as well as the transfer of energy to chlorophyll A and protect them from photooxidation, right? So these accessory pigments, what they do is they absorb the light, right? They transfer the energy to chlorophyll A. So this, first of all, as this, they are also responsible for trapping the light or absorbing the light, but this absorbed light is being transferred to the chlorophyll A, right? And they also protect them, that is they also protect the this three of the pigments protects the chlorophyll A in order to does not perform the photooxidation, right? Because if the photooxidation takes place, then the photosynthesis cannot be occur in a proper manner, right? Now the light reaction, right? Now as we have seen in the upper part, that is two reactions are taking place, right? One reaction which is taking place in the presence of the light, and that is light reaction, and second reaction that is occurring in the absence of the light, and that is dark reaction. So first we will see about the light reaction, right? So light reaction is also known as photochemical phase, right? That is, it is also known as photochemical phase or photochemical reaction, and this includes four different terms, right? First is the light absorption, second is the water splitting, third is the oxygen release, and fourth is the formation of high energy chemical intermediates, that is ATP and NADPH, right? So these are the four major steps of the light reaction. We cannot say exactly the steps, but these are the four main uh, reactions which are taking place inside this light reaction, right? So the pigments are organized into two discrete LHC, that is light harvesting complex, within the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Now see, as this all reactions are going to be take place in the presence of light, for this reason all the pigments, right, they are organized in such a way that the light harvesting complex, that is LHC, right, it does possess two systems, right? That is, first is the photosystem 1 and the second one is photosystem 2. So none another, this LHC complex, it possesses two systems, and this two of the system, they have the pigments, right? Now this LHC, they are made up of 100 of pigment molecules containing all pigments except single chlorophyll A molecules in each PS, right? Now this LHC molecules, right, this LHC, that is the light harvesting complex, right, they are made up of so many pigment molecules, right? And this and there is not presence of one single pigment, there is presence of all the pigments but except chlorophyll A. So there will be not no presence of chlorophyll A molecules in this LHC molecule, right? Now you can see over here is, this is the LHC molecule, right? You can see over here is, these are the pigment molecules, the green color dots, right? And this is the photon, that means from which the light energy is being sent or it has been exposed, right? This is the reaction center because the reaction is taking place in order or in the presence of the light, and a primary acceptor is being generated, right? And as here the reaction is taking place, for this reason this portion or this area is said to be the reaction center. Now the pigments in photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 absorbs the light of different wavelength. Single chlorophyll molecule makes a reaction center, right? So now here the pigments which are present in the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, this two of them have the ability to absorb the lights of different wavelengths. So it is not necessary that only one single type of wavelength light can be absorbed. So as so many different pigments are present, or so many molecules of different pigments are present, all those molecules have the ability to absorb the different wavelength of light, right? And single chlorophyll A molecule makes the reaction center. So here, this particular portion where the reaction center is there, it only produces or it only makes the chlorophyll A molecule, right? Now, in PS1, that is in photosystem 1, the reaction center has highest peak at 700 nanometer, right? And hence it is called as P700, right? Now in PS1, as the reaction center has the highest peak level at 700 nanometer wavelength, for this reason PS1 is also known as P700, right? And same way, why, just like the PS1 has the highest peak at 700 nanometer, the PS2 has the highest peak at 680 nanometer. So PS2 is also known as P680 wavelength, right? So these are the two different types of photosystems, right, which is based upon the different types of pigment molecules inside them. So this is about the today's topic, that what exactly LHC is. That is the light harvesting complex. It is composed of two things, the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, as well as there is presence of a reaction center, and where the different pigments are present in different photosystems, right? And they are going to reach at a peak, highest peak, and the photosystem 1 has the highest peak of 700 nanometer wavelength. Same way, the PS2 has the highest peak at 680 nanometer wavelength. Hence, the PS1 is also known as P700 and PS2 is also known as P680, right? So I hope you are very clear with today's topic. In the next lecture, we will resume this chapter from this topic. I hope you are very clear with today's topic. I hope to see you again. Thank you.